Okay, so episode 4 coming at you, big way, big strong episode 4. Last time we were here, we discussed a little bit about just like getting shit started with Strongman, getting shit going with Strongman, getting people involved a little more. We answered some questions. We got a few more questions this time from people that still want to get our extensive knowledge,
some controversial questions,
our incredible wealth of knowledge between the three of us on training subjects and stuff. So we'll probably spend a little bit of time on those and just see how it kind of unfolds from there, right? So what's the first thing you want to touch on?
Touch on a question off the hop. I got a good one. Couple of them here. Pull up here. I should have this shit ready, right? That's my job.
That's all good.
Yeah.
That's why you got the high chair.
Makes sense, though. It totally makes sense. All right, this one came in from Garrett. He's actually got a couple good questions. So, watch, I don't mind this one. Talk about the road to nationals and what we have prepared for it. We're supposed to get nationals in Manitoba. We won't go into too much with all the logistic things, but what our plans are with being the sanctioned body in Manitoba. I don't mind that question. I kind of like it. Road to nationals. How did that get brought up? That was it's damn near voluntold situation. You were involved with Strongman Corp as a competitor. You were an athlete, but not as a promoter. But I had told him I was willing to host it if I could bring Tyler on board to help me, because I could not host this by myself. There's no way. Like the price tag to put on this show, I still think is between $30,000 and $50,000.
It's very big.
That we have to fundraise to put the show on. I think by the time logistics are done and everything. So it is a big undertaking. We're still in the process of it. We secured a great venue. Tyler secured a great venue. That's why I brought him on, because he has connections I don't.
Yeah. We're not going to announce it yet, but it's a very
on the roof at Bar I.
Yeah.
Teddy Bob's parking lot. Teddy Bob's parking lot.
We're gonna a lot of the Strongman season is gonna be centered around Bar Italia this year.
So we're really happy with that. Being the sanctioned body in Manitoba, I mean, we sanction with Strongman Corp majority of the time, Strongman Corp, and we do sanction with Classic.
Yep, Classic Strongman Champions League. They're really great too. They're out of the West.
Yeah, and I really support both. That's like I said, I stay neutral in a lot of the shit, and I think both bodies are great, and they both have their goals and their people, which is good. So that would be about Road to Nationals. Road to Nationals, I guess, would be hit the regional qualifiers, place in provincials, and then you get your spot to nationals. So, I mean, that'll be your road there. A lot of weight categories this year. I see Jaloli cut to under 90. Is that actually a thing?
Yeah, Jaloli's going to be a big U90 guy this year. Real threat down there. Yeah, it's just like the road is pretty cut and dry. It's like you need to you do a qualifier. Your qualifier is a qualifier for provincials. When you do provincials, you get a ticket to nationals. And then nationals.
Hold on, when you do provincials?
When you win provincials,
yes,
I should say.
No.
Or when you do well in provincials. When you get
like
top 2 or 3 or something like that, gets to go to nationals.
Yeah. Depending on
this is something we should definitely know.
Yeah, the more people in the weight category, if you got 10 people, then I think top 3 to 5 go to nationals. I have it all. I should actually know that part. Yeah. So if you have a weight category with only 4 people, it might be top 2 go. If there's 10 in that weight category, then more go.
Yeah, this has been like a really huge undertaking for already. Like we're very far out from it still, or it's getting closer, but
we got. I couldn't even count the hours we have in it already.
Yeah, already going into it and just getting the venue and getting like it's supposed to be like somewhere in the neighborhood of like 150 to 200 athletes.
Wow.
Plus
it could be more.
Yeah, plus their people, plus the people who come to watch it.
And Strongest Woman in Canada is happening that same weekend we're putting on. And Record Breaker. So it's 3 events in a weekend. Where it's going to be, it's just a ton of people and a lot of expectations, which we're ready for that. We can handle that. Yeah.
It was last year. It was in Thunder Bay, and it was like Max and Sam ran it like really, really well.
Yeah.
They did a really, really great job, especially for it being the first year and not having like
Can we throw out last names so people can look them up?
Max Boudreau and Sam Beliveau.
Yeah.
If you're involved in strength sports in Canada in any way, I'm sure you know who those two are. But yeah, they're probably the world's strongest couple, if I were to guess. She's like a pro level woman, and he's he's podiumed at World's Strongest Man. Like they're really
they did a great job, and that comp still was 8 hours or 10 hours.
Yeah, it's just when there's nothing for them to like base it on. You know what I mean? So nothing but credit for them for just being like, hey, we're gonna try to figure this out as we go. So now we have something to kind of base it on a little bit, so we can try to tighten the screws a little bit. That they laid the foundation, and we can try to.
Well, we were both there. I wasn't competing, so I was just trying to not to pick it apart because they did a great job. But I was thinking, what flaws, if there were any, what flaws were there in terms of how it ran, and how can we get better in that? And so I've got a good list going. Me and Todd discussed it. In terms of running a couple different PA systems, having people in the back, like just things we're going to run to make it, but we're going to be hard pressed. Like it's going to be you got 30 seconds to get your lift or your time starts. I don't give a shit if you're in the back putting your reps on because that's how fast it needs to run to
It's
get
like
it
the
down the
MLB
timeline.
pitch clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got
Yep.
30 seconds. If you're not under your yoke, your time starts. Tough tits for you.
Yeah.
Pay attention. So that's the only way to run it in the timeline we have.
Yeah.
I realize because there are probably more athletes this year than last year because the sport's growing everywhere. So I would think, that's the only way. That's the only way.
Pardon me. So one thing I found with strongman shows that I've competed in and ones that I've been to, when you have max effort lifts, it makes the show about 5 hours longer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Than it has to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you guys have plans, or can you announce your plans?
We can't talk anything about events yet.
No.
Okay.
But
is
yeah,
nothing.
but we suffice to say that we're well aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Well,
it's-
of course, you guys would be. You've been in 100 times
Yeah.
more shows than
Yeah.
I have. But.
but those are like the most fun events, obviously. You know what I mean? The max effort ones. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So we try to have it so like let's say something like Manitoba Strongest Man, where it's open. The Morris show where it's open, we'll very likely have a max effort lift in there because there's only going to be less than 15 competitors probably. So it's really easy. You don't have to change any weights. You don't have to go back and forth or anything. You just run through with everybody. And it's fun and it's much less time consuming.
And then I generally pair the next event's a head-to-head event. So you're getting 45 minutes for max effort, and the next event is 20 minutes, you're out.
Okay.
So you still get 2 events in an hour and 10 minutes
Yeah.
so that the crowd doesn't get unentertained too quick. I always pair it with a head-to-head event right
good.
after so that I can still keep the speed of the show running.
Yeah, and like the Strongman Corp stuff, like some of the balance is going to be that like I don't want people to feel like they're cattle, you know what I mean? Like they're just being herded out and go as fast as you can and get back here. Like it's still a special day for everybody
Yes.
who's there. You've qualified for a national level show,
Yeah.
and it's important that everybody gets their time in the limelight and everything. So it's kind of finding that balancing act between we can't treat you all like you're Big Z. But we also don't want to treat you like you're less than, or like that you shouldn't, that you shouldn't be there, or that you're doing us a favor. You're doing us a favor by showing, or sorry, excuse me, we're doing you some sort of favor by letting you be there.
Yeah, but
that's
even
not what it
30
is.
seconds, everyone's going to have plenty of time. That's why we're running 2 PH. We're going to run, so you have 5-minute notice or 3-minute notice at least before you're up. But it's when you've been told 3 times, you're on deck, you're in the hole, you're just not, you
Yeah,
still
yeah.
missed it, not my problem.
No,
Yeah.
it won't be none of that.
Maybe a crowd announcer in the background.
We're going to, yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
the space that we have is very big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very big, and it'll
We'll be running several lanes.
yeah, and it's gonna allow for just like a ton of separation between like where the competition floor is and the warm up area and the athletes sitting area and stuff. So it's gonna be really good.
It's going to be great. I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely will be the biggest show, biggest strongman competition. That's maybe the biggest like strength competition that Manitoba's seen. I don't know. Like I don't know much about the history of powerlifting in Manitoba, but unless they've had nationals here, which I think they have before, maybe that would that might be on par. But this will be like a really really big competition, and I'm looking forward to everybody who kind of will come and show out. And I want Manitoba to have a strong showing too. Like I don't want it to be just
I'd love to see some podiums.
but there's guys that I think that are fully capable of doing really well in their category. So
I don't see why not.
Now, are you past this level, or is this where?
no, yeah. This
can't
is an amateur show, and I'm on the pro circuit.
Okay.
So this is not something that I would
What
be.
about you?
I could compete now. I never went pro yet.
Yeah,
But you're all,
I'm broken.
he's old
You're not
and
competing.
gnarled.
I am not
like putting
competing.
it on.
I'm putting it. There's no
Oh,
way.
it's gonna be. There's no way we could compete and do
No,
this.
I
together.
said I'm taking this year back. I got to heal some injuries. I mean, I had a hard time walking in here right now, but
Like, even when
I want to focus on promoting this year, making
Yeah.
sure every show runs flawlessly.
Yeah.
Even when I'm doing like when we're doing competitions, like I like to MC them and stuff, and I won't even be doing that on this one because it's just going to be too.
No.
Like I can't be. You can't have either of the organizers be like stuck in one spot like that.
It needs to run like I've done the math. Of course, the little numbers thing. I've done the math on time per event because we have the events. We picked our events. We know what we're doing. We're getting building equipment. We got to get the shit ready.
So you looked into the numbers for it.
Yes, on what each event's going to take, how much time we have. Yeah, how much time we have between events to run it in the time limit, and it's got to run flawlessly, and it's got to run smooth and perfect, and we have to be heading that up, right? And we got a great group of my guys at my gym, Janae, Brian, all the guys that always help me. You've got a good group. They're ready for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
We'll rent them whole tire with the city or something. And let's go, right?
Yeah.
It'll be 3 days. It'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but we'll be getting ready. We'll be working overnight. It'll be a lot of caffeine,
Yeah.
maybe cocaine. I don't
A lot
know.
of crack. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
We're in the right area.
Yeah. We very well could
we'll
be.
be in the right area.
Yeah, we very well could be.
Yeah.
So many hints on where it's going to be.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else in Winnipeg where you can get this stuff, I swear. So find the area that sells that.
Is there
Yeah,
touch
speaking
more
of
on that, or?
that's about that. We have, you want to hit one more question? We'll get into some Teddy Bob's, and maybe
Why don't we? Let's not go on the question right away. Then why don't we chat about that a little bit? So last time we were talking, we kind of hinted at a story that it's Devin's story, so I'm not going to try to tell it, but I will kind of set it up a little bit for him. Was that Devin is from St. Malo, which is like.
Well, then I was from Grunthal.
Sorry, so that it doesn't really matter. That whole area is just fucking garbage. So it doesn't matter. But they're all. It's like southern Manitoba is. If you're not from Manitoba, it's like the South. Like it's there's a lot of family hooting and hollering and bickering and all kinds of stuff, and nobody knows that better than Devin Penner. And I'll let him tell the story.
So
but
I'm sure my family's tired of hearing the story, but whatever. So my first Strongman comp was at Teddy Bob's bar, which then turned to Lipsticks.
It's Lipsticks now.
It's Lipsticks now.
Yeah. It was like the Rendezvous, and then it's Lipstick. It's been all over the place.
So Brent Ham put on the show, and the bar stepped up. And hey, we want to host a show. And there was a local guy, Derek Spence at the time, a native guy in Winnipeg, and they're really promoting him. So that was great. They gave him, that guy was drinking double whiskeys and competing. It was phenomenal.
That's my favorite part. Like, no disrespect to the rest of your story, but that's might be my favorite part.
Oh
of the
man,
whole
it was
thing.
crazy.
The guy who's just there competing in a strongman competition, just pounding whiskey doubles the whole time.
So this goes against everything we said in the first episode, or second episode about weight cutting. So I cut to 231 because I wanted to do 105 against Brent and all the guys. I rolled that show and actually decently well. But anyways, I had
make sure you sneak that in there. Hey?
Yeah, I decently well for a guy who's small. They had to put the farmer walks on blocks. We had a farmer walk hold because I couldn't actually lift them from the floor. They're too heavy. So they gave me like an 18-inch pick. You
didn't do that well.
Yeah, no. So
they just set up special ways for you to compete.
They put it up for everybody, so we all lifted from the same height. But I placed second in the hold against Luke Scarab. Luke Scarab won, a second or third. I beat a lot of the guys just because I was able. If it's in my hands, I'm not going to let go, even though it's heavy. But anyways, I had majority of the fan base of that show. There was, when you were there. I bet 80% of the people were there.
I was MC doubling as loader.
Yeah. Yes. If you were at Manitoba's Strongest Man when Devin was running the frame carry, and it looked like fucking Forrest Gump, like running down, running, and there's like 10 hillbillies running behind him, just
literally on the concrete.
And we told them, please don't go on the competition field. And within 10 seconds, they're just like, yeah, and they're just like all out there.
I've got a good following of supporters
for sure.
Yeah. So, anyways, we went there. My family's there, mom, dad. Yeah, there's some conflict in the family at the time, and so we were all concerned about patrons coming in and fighting tricks. The bar we're in is downtown and not a good area. We were more concerned about locals coming in, scrapping, fighting, cops, yada yada yada. Turned out it was my family because we were inside, and someone else yells that there was a fight in the parking lot or cops coming.
We were loading equipment after the show.
Well, first.
It happened during the show.
Yeah, my mom had tried lighting my sister-in-law's hair on fire in the bar.
As you do.
Yeah. To me, this is hilarious. It's in the past and shit happens. But you had alcohol and problems. Anyways, they're loading up equipment and the cops are rolling in, and it's not from the locals. It's my family scrapping in the parking lot. It's I think is my sister-in-law beating my mom's head into the side of a car. And it ended up, some drunk tank overnight stuff, and that reputation. All the guys from Montreal, Luke Scarab, Steve Halliday came out from Travis Kushnicki came out from Saskatchewan. A bunch of those guys I compete against, and that reputation still follows me to this day. It has never left.
Here's a question for you: if let's just say like all level playing field. In that moment, who would have won in a fist fight, your mom or your sister-in-law?
Oh, my sister-in-law.
She would have won, yeah?
Yeah, she's a strong girl.
Really? Okay.
Really strong. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love your mom.
Is it Jeanette?
No, it was Aaron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I wasn't married. Oh, no, I was married, but no, it was Aaron, my older brother's wife. And she's a strong girl, just naturally. Yeah, she was. She liked to scrap.
Would your mom put up a good fight though?
No. My mom's had tumors in her arms that removed, so her arm strength is super weak.
But she's just she's got a fighter spirit then.
Yeah,
there's no reason why she should be trying to fight at that point.
You don't light someone's hair on fire if you're not willing to fight.
My mom would have fought. Like they were scrapping, but it's.
But she knew she couldn't win the fight, and she was like, "Fuck it, I have to fight." Listen, I am downtown. I'm drunk, and I gotta fight.
My mom has a fighter spirit for sure.
That's sick.
Mom, I love you to death, but it's
That's awesome.
Yeah, McDole and I had just met you at the time, and you're yourself. Like, anyone who meets you and gets to know you a little bit quite likes you. You're very kind. You're very generous, and we're like, this Devin Pendergast's a good dude, and you know what I mean. He's going to be part of our group. And then that happens, and we're like, maybe we misread him.
Maybe we shouldn't have him around.
Yeah.
Maybe this is dangerous.
I remember going back to the gym. I'm like, I don't know if I should even compete in this sport ever again. I should probably hide.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
That's so awesome, though.
For me, it was funny. Yeah.
I mean, if it's funny for you, then it's funny for everybody else too. 'Cause nobody,
it's just
as
shit happens. My family can be messy, but we still love each other on occasion for Christmas.
who would win in a fight, your sister-in-law or your dad?
I would hope my dad. Well, my dad's getting pretty old now.
Dad's an old guy, though.
Yeah, he's getting pretty old. I don't know. I guess I would still hope he'd have it. I would still hope he's getting on in his. He's close to my age, they're late 50s. You know. Thanks, Anna. I just met you, but I can already tell I don't like you. So that's the Teddy Bob story. That was the experience, man. I've not had good luck with a lot of things.
Have you ever seen something like that at a powerlifting meet, or is that pretty much like a strongman exclusive kind of thing? I know you used to hear stories about that kind of stuff, like back in the West Side guys and stuff tell those stories about really crazy shit like that. But I feel like that's a very bygone era and not that happens every day in fucking strongman, but I don't think that happens at all in a powerlifting meet anymore.
I've never seen anything like that. You hear the stories. That stuff happened in West Side.
Right, yeah, that's probably
you know what
true,
I mean.
Yeah.
And I could see the three of us training together intensely for a while. Tempers would flare, so it makes sense that it happened in West Side. To happen at a competition, but not even the competitors
In the crowd.
is such like a
Yeah.
Here's a
just
question.
out
You don't
there.
have to say any names or anything, but have either of you ever gotten in a fight in the gym, like a fist fight?
Have I ever?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I've been in very limited fist fights.
yelling matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had yelling matches, but
I've seen some. I haven't been.
Have you?
I've broken some up.
Yeah.
McDowell's like back in the day.
Those got pretty intense, especially with the football guys, like the older football guys, when they were when they were done with football and they were getting into other lifting and stuff. It got pretty heated there sometimes.
Yeah. Two CFLers I remember. They went to high school together. They played university together, and they were in the CFL at the time. And don't know who put the bee in their bonnet, but one day they just had two defensive linemen. They were massive and just had this blow up and started swinging and yelling and
Really, like a physical like that?
yeah,
Huh? Wow.
yeah. You know what I'm talking about, Willie? Yeah. Yeah. It was quite a spectacle.
Wow. Yeah, that would have been.
I remember one time I was still an employee of Chris's and struggling with a bench. Like, one of those grinders.
Yeah.
And he grabbed it too soon. And I know my bench where I tap into that like last minute strength where I can push through a sticking
grind
point.
it out. Yeah.
And he grabbed it too soon. And I stood up and I flipped out at him. And we barked at each other for a minute. And then he stormed off. And I sat there and pouted and was angry. But you dust it off after and you move on.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But that was that intensity of training, and that rep means more in the moment than
Your safety.
Or your boss.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
You're just like, it was a PR and I wanted to hit it, and you took that bar from me, and the second if you're benching, the second that bar's touched, it doesn't count as a rep if you actually care about your training.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a funny video of me hitting this was at Midtown, so years ago now, but of hitting a extremely slow grinder bench, which is kind of how all my max effort ones go.
Yeah.
And it was Swint was spotting me, and so it's recording, and you could hear Big Dole from off camera like, "Don't fucking touch it, don't touch it," and it's barely moving. And Swint's like looking at things like, "Are you sure? Like I could probably grab this." And then I got it, and I remembered I was like, there's something to be said for like I'm not trying to not sound cute, but it's like your partners will let you die before they fucking like they will put you in danger like that to be like, hey, say not to touch it. Like, what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? Like you said, you want this rep, right? Like
We'll lift it together once it's on your chest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or your throat.
Being around experienced lifters, and you take like a grinder bench, which is probably the most dangerous of the lifts.
Yeah.
You're not going to struggle, and then out of nowhere just drop the bar on yourself.
No.
You can let a guy fail and bring it down to his chest, and then give like a 1-2.
You both
and then
just hoist it up, yeah.
And it's actually inexperienced spotters are worse than inexperienced lifters.
Yes,
For sure.
I won't let certain people spot me.
Yeah.
There's very few people in the gym.
Well,
that
that's
I'll let-
Nervous
something
spotters that like follow the bar all the way.
Yeah.
You're like, dude,
Right.
you're
and they
making
touch
me
the
nervous
they
now.
touch the bottom of it.
Yeah.
That's something that I do try to teach people at the gym too. Even like the kind of just like the gen pop sort of people, like not just for, to use a term, whatever. Like people who are just there just to be like, hey, I'm just trying to lift weights and whatever, lose a little body fat.
Yeah.
I do like them to all be able to know how to spot properly too, though, because if somebody asks them, the last thing I want them to do is to feel obligated to say yes, and then be like, oh, this guy's head just got chopped off because I didn't know how to fucking catch the bench when he like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like it's important to me that even like our women's group, like they all know, like we teach them bench press really as much for learning how to spot properly as it is to learn how to bench press properly. Because realistically, bench pressing is not going to be important to them, but protecting each other and knowing how to do it safely is going to be a big fucking deal, right?
Yeah, being a good training partner.
Yeah. I had one when I was training. I had a bench only just before COVID hit, and it's 5-something on the bar, low fives, and I was like, I can hit this any day, right?
Is that the video I seen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hit this any
We were
day.
just talking about this the other day.
So I asked Dempsey, who's not an experienced lifter, like 100% my fault for putting him in a precarious position, and he lifted off with me and just let go.
Just let go.
And I wasn't set yet.
Right.
Yeah.
And it came out of my wrists broke, and the bar came down, smashed the 3-board or 4-board, drove it into my chin. Had the board not been there, I might be dead right now.
I remember it being
And it hit those. And it got the safety bars, right?
Yeah.
It landed on the face savers.
Yeah.
It was a really scary video.
Super scary.
Yeah.
100% my fault.
Yeah.
For partly being arrogant enough.
And
to be
Dempsey's
like,
just like the nicest guy in the world too.
yeah.
So like,
and I put him in a bad position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
right.
Great video though.
Yeah, cool video.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Video.
I think Elite Fitness even shared that video.
A couple sites did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was their face saver that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I
No,
got
there wasn't much to save.
No.
But
no,
like,
no.
it's more.
The places that reposted it, I got roasted.
Oh yeah.
Just about how this guy doesn't know how to bench. And,
Well, the number one thing that you'll see now is people be like, "Oh, look at this ego lifter."
Yeah.
yeah.
That's like everyone's learned that word or that term, and they're just like, "Oh, that's everybody who's doing things that I don't understand."
Yeah.
exactly.
You're an ego lifter.
Yeah.
They had like I was, and honestly, I don't really feel any kind of sympathy for them because this is who they try to appeal to now. But EFS had a video where Dave Tate was like dusting off the bench and put on his big heavy duty slingshot type deal and did some board presses, whatever, and which is like anybody who is even slightly aware of him is because he likes to lift heavy weights. Still, he's not trying to do anything. Like he's not trying to say, look how big and heavy my bench is. He just likes the feeling of doing it.
Yeah.
And every fucking comment was just like, look at this ego lifter. What's he wearing that shit for? Doing it to boards too. What blah 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 blah. Do a full rep and blah blah blah. And it was like, well, like I said, I don't really feel bad because this is who they try to appeal to now with their bullshit. Like these are the 5 bench things you're doing wrong videos that they make now, but. It's crazy where it's like people could be so fucking dense that it's like, well, I don't get this. I don't know what's happening. So, and I know everything. So this must be wrong. You know what I mean? This must be just be an incorrect thing to do. Because I remember seeing that too on your video where people are like, oh, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And it's just like, accent, like, so a guy like, you know, this like someone gets hurt in hockey and at a pro level. Oh, guy's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're taking a fluke accident, and that was a freak accident.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You put a spot in a bad spot. Your wrist. Yeah. It could have been way worse.
Yeah.
Could have been
For the
worse,
way it
yeah.
went down, you came out really well.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Did you pick it up and hit it again though?
Not that day.
Pussy.
Because there's no one. Well, there's no one in the gym.
You should have just
Didn't you just say you
from
could have done
fucking-
it any day without a spotter? Like
My
I don't know.
jaw, like, so it hit the board and drove the board into my jaw. And for like 4 days, I could barely open my mouth. It
Oh,
was-
really?
Yeah,
Oh.
it was so
I don't think
sore.
I was aware that it actually touched your face.
That really
I'm like,
that really
oh.
affected our relationship actually.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes. That's brutal, though.
Yeah.
Is that like so? I don't mean like a tear or a pull or whatever, but like is that probably like the weirdest like injury that you've gotten from lifting, like scariest?
That's the scariest one, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, probably the weirdest too.
Like you hurt your jaw bench pressing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I can't think of like less connected
You
things
wouldn't
than that.
expect
Yeah.
So that
yeah.
would be the scariest thing. Touch on that. That's the scariest thing that's happened, like if in terms of injury or accident in the gym.
Totally. It happened so fast. It's scary after the fact because
Yeah.
it happened so fast.
Right.
That you don't have time to be scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, the woman filming it was with a boot camper. The guy spotting was a boot camp. Like, it wasn't you guys there where we're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And we all giggle
And
about
I
it.
can get up and be like, yeah, I
Well,
was
like,
scared.
they're rattled too.
I had to
and,
play it cool so they didn't leave scared.
Right.
Yeah.
And
loose glands.
then you see the video and you're like, "Jeez,
You have any
that's-
scary? What's the scariest thing you've had in the gym for yourself? Have you had anything or in competition?
I'm trying to think. Like if you have one, go ahead. Because
I have two that come to mind. I was doing a yoke one time at a competition, 750 I was running with, and my knees locked all backwards.
Ooh.
And I thought that was the end of it, but I picked it up and finished the course anyways.
You're a fucking hero, Devin.
Yeah, and then there was the
I
competition.
don't want to mention, but I finished pretty high.
I don't know what you guys know, but I finished no matter what.
I also cut down on that in that show too.
Yeah.
So
And then there was
I have a pretty big following.
Yeah, kind of a big deal in small town. Winkler, I competed the show where you
that's
did.
the one that I was thinking of actually.
For
When you
me,
said
yeah.
for you,
So I was duck walking. Was at 500.
It was a big one.
Yeah, it was 500 duck walk. I did the dumb thing. You never buy new shoes before comp, and I knew that, but I bought new shoes. So I'm like, oh, I want new shoes because mine were pretty worn out. New shoes mean new grip. And I was duck walking at a good pace, and I ate shit forward. My shoe caught, and I face planted, but I didn't let go of the implant.
You would have thought he was wearing straps though.
Yeah, I did not let
Like
go.
his hands did not let go. He just went right over
Yeah.
top and just held on the whole fucking way and just
Yeah.
ate shit.
And I face planted into the concrete, tumbled with the 500-pound implement. And, because I got to get fun, I picked it up and still won the event.
Did you get up and finish it though,
I
Devin?
did.
Yeah,
I
of
won
course
the
you did.
event. Yeah, I did.
We got to make sure that we discuss that.
I did
part.
win the event still, but I was pretty sore off that one. Yeah, that one actually scared. Once I finished the event, just to make sure everyone knows that. Once I finished, actually, it was like, oh, that could have went way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my face hurt. I ate the concrete. It was a tumble. Yeah, because when you're holding on to this, it's just beep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was when my eyes went crooked.
It never came back.
Yeah, straight till then.
You bonked your little noggin
Yeah,
and
that
then
was-
never
I
went
swear,
back to
man,
normal.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm trying to think of one, but I don't think I
nothing
really
cool?
have a. I don't think I have
wrestling injury.
Well, I mean, I've fucking banged my head more times than I can.
Yeah.
Literally than I can remember. So
Well, the remember thing makes sense.
Yeah. For honestly, but like as far as lifting and wrestling goes, and we're not talking about serious injuries, but like I've always been pretty lucky. Like I've never really had like I think the worst thing that I've had is like I had a grade 1 tear in my tricep. That's the worst thing that's happened to me, I think.
That's good. That's lucky. That's good.
Yeah, no, I've always been really like and I knock on wood, but I've never really had any problems with that so far. But there's always plenty of time though.
Hey,
There's,
man,
there's nothing but time as I get
Yeah.
older now. Yeah.
I've seen enough freak accidents at comps where like, yeah, okay, I'm glad that happened to him, not me.
Well, there's plenty of options too, right, coming up now. So there's like a power stairs coming up, plenty of chances there to hurt myself.
Yep.
There's there's always the Atlas stones. I can always drop that on myself. There's so many ways to hurt myself. And
In Strongman, yeah.
I'll find a
Throw
way.
a sandbag in the air, your keg,
Yeah.
don't get out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That did almost happen to me at Westerns this year. There's a video where I'm looking up watching it, and then the last second I'm like, oh, I should move, and then I just fucking dip my head out of the way and
Like the one that hit Brian Shaw on the shoulder there.
Keg or sandbag?
keg.
Do you see the one Brian Shaw had one?
No,
Smoked him in the shoulder.
I wouldn't have looked as cool as him though. It would have fucking knocked me out cold if it happened to me. I would have.
Shaw would just catch it.
Yeah, I
and
would
I'll
have
just
been
throw it
laid the
again.
fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think I have a lot to contribute to that one.
Oh, we could hit another question.
Sure.
Teddy Bob. So we did have one bit of a controversial post for some. So the question came up, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 times here about
Yeah, you guys really, really want to talk about this.
gear.
Sustanon 250.
Yeah, I sent the message.
Someone just said that as a message. Yeah.
Sustanon
so-
250. Another one was steroids. Another one was gear. Another one is there drugs in the sport? I'm an open book. Everyone knows I just don't really give a shit what you think of me. So I don't. I have experience in that. Obviously, it didn't do me too well because I didn't make it pro. But so if there's guys who turn pro without drugs, and I didn't even make it.
Yeah.
But yes, it is in the sport. It is. There's really not a sport out there that there's not drugs. Don't be naive. But I do have some experience that. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not going to give you medical advice on it. I can tell you a little bit about the pros and cons of it, and you can take your advice from there. So the biggest thing I see with athletes is when they get on they decide to get on gear. They're like, hey, let's jump on some steroids. First of all, they just want to go to an oral only, which is useless. Just wrecks your liver for no real gain. You lose every bit of it. But they jump on these stupid cycles that are 2,000 milligrams or 1,000 milligrams of test in their first cycle, and they completely destroy their bodies for really an amateur strongman competition that you didn't even do that well in. Because if your nutrition isn't dialed in, same thing as last year, your nutrition isn't dialed in, your sleep's not dialed in, your training isn't dialed in, you should not be adding drugs to anything. If you can't maintain those 3 first, you don't have the commitment level to dial into that shit. So I've had some experience, I say the biggest thing is start slow. Don't stack too many compounds. You're not, if you there is people out there you can hire. There's guys out in the States. There's guys you can find on Instagram, and you can go onto their sites and hire them, and they will properly program something for you. They'll also make you do blood tests. They will also make you check all your health markers. They will also make sure your diet's in check. There's a bunch of stuff they're going to make you do to make sure you're doing it in the safest way possible. I don't recommend doing it. I'm also not against it. That is a personal choice you make, but you can make sure that it's worth the risk, right? There's always risk with anything. That's what I don't want to get too deep into it on what's worked for me, what hasn't, because that's a personal thing it's business. But
right.
I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
I mean, nothing that's going to be like anything groundbreaking. Like you said, like the fact is that it should be. It's not for the vast majority of people, but it should be the cherry on top of what you already have, which is perfect. Sleep, hydration, recovery, food, training, like everything should be really on point. But people always kind of want to go to like the fastest and like the sexiest thing, right? Whatever, right? Which is, obviously like the illegal thing, right? So, like I said, the same thing that you said is I'm not your mom, I'm not your dad. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your own body. If you want to do it, hey, by all means, you should do it. But don't think that it's gonna, like, if you suck at, let's keep it to what we're talking about, which is like strength sports and stuff.
Yeah.
If you suck at strongman, you're gonna suck on steroids too.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you are weak and you're not only just like physically weak, but if you're mentally weak and you can't put together all of the different pieces that it takes before you get on gear, you're gonna suck on gear too.
It's not a miracle. It'll give you 10. I put on 110 pounds on my bench using on and off using PEDs in 11 years.
Right.
So 10 pounds a year running PEDs. Now I didn't focus on bench, but that's what it gave me.
And
that it probably would have gave me 50, 60 pounds that would have been natural anyways.
We have, like, in our gym, we have Ryan Deloli is a world record holder who is clean.
Yeah.
He's
lifetime clean, I believe.
I don't know, but he's not. But I know for a fact that for at least as long as I've been training him, he's clean.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get to.
There's lots of pros.
I'm not going to list too many people because I don't want to start leaving people out or whatever.
Yeah.
But another one that I will say is Thrones, because he competes in a tested federation, so that's out there. Yeah. And he's poised to break the provincial record for deadlift clean, and breaking the whether it's tested or untested, like just like the open.
He's got a better deadlift than me, and I.
So so it's there. You can do phenomenal things without it, and.
So all I can say is don't stack too many compounds. Start slow, start smart. Hire somebody if you can afford to.
Talk to somebody who knows more than you and not your dumbass fucking friends.
Yeah.
Find somebody who has an education.
Yeah, the guy in the gym selling it to you or trying to sell it to you in the change room, probably not the best guy to ask advice.
Right.
He's more worried. He's like a car salesman. They really don't care what car they're selling.
If somebody is selling you something, keep that in mind that maybe they're going to try to upsell you a little bit.
Yeah.
Coaching for so long, I've been asked about it countless times, and my answer has always been, if morally you see any problems with it, don't do it until you're morally okay with it.
Right.
And don't lie to your damn wife about it.
No, that's been.
I was very
the number
open
of guys
Yeah.
that I keep it in my car. I do this, and
Yeah.
if you can't tell your wife about it, then you got to check to see if it's worth.
If you're gonna do it, be a man about it.
Yeah.
If you're ready going to that level and you're in strength sports and you call yourself not a pussy, don't be a pussy.
Yeah.
If you can't tell your wife, you're a pussy.
Yeah.
That's
Simple as that.
anything. That's
Yeah.
not. That's
That's literally
we just happen to be talking about this right now, but that's fucking.
That's just
anything.
life.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
life in general. Yeah.
If you have to hide something like that from
My
your
wife
sleep
was
to
dead
just-
against it still, and she just like, I'm not your mom. You'll do what you want with your body,
Yeah.
but there will be consequences in terms of your health, and you better know that going in. But it's like, you're your own man. I don't tell you what to do,
Yeah.
and I don't tell her what to do ever.
No, never.
No.
Go get the tacky.
She was willing to make that trifle.
But I think that's a fair response to that too, because it's like enough people ask that it's like I'm not trying to be the guys who are pretending like, oh, there's just this giant space over here where nothing's happening and we're not talking. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is like it is a part of the sport, and especially we're talking about as you progress. Now, I'm not saying that everybody on a local level is a fucking deuce monkey. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying that it should be. And I'm not, yes, and I'm not saying that even when you get to that national level. Like it's not such a prevalent thing in the sport that you need to be like, oh well, I got to be on it, or I'm going to be the only guy who's not.
I
doing
know
it.
a bunch of guys who went pro and not used it.
I know pros who are clean,
Yeah.
and I know AMs who are fucking dirtier than
They
your,
run
your
more
mother,
gear
and they're gonna
than
and
Mr. Olympia. Like,
and they perform like shit. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yes.
there's guys who I know are running in insane cycles, and they are terrible.
you can't drug up and compensate for bad diet, bad sleep, and bad hydration. All the drugs are going to do is just going to get you quicker to some torn tendons and ligaments. That's all it's going to do. Things grow faster. If you're not doing the other things first, it's going to be an injury, and it's going to be an injury real quick, and it's going to be a bad one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also worth pointing out too that strongman is like a little more than powerlifting. It's more of like a skilled sport. In the sense that you can like practice things, like you can get better at things. You can get better at like the running in between implements. You can get better at like handling the implements better. Yeah. So there's so many things that you can work on before that becomes like the main concern for you.
Yeah. There's a lot of technique.
Run all the gear in your life.
Yeah.
You can't just show up to a show never doing yoke.
Right. Yeah.
And do good at yoke.
No,
it doesn't matter how strong you are.
You just won't.
There's a skill to it.
You just
exactly.
won't.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's where we'll go on that. I know it's been asked a lot. Hope that helps you guys.
Yeah. I was just explaining to someone actually. I try to break them down that strongman is getting better at implements, powerlifting is getting better at movements, and bodybuilding is training muscles.
Right. Yeah.
And if you're not doing those things for the sport, the accessory work is the accessory work, and you have to find your weaknesses and improve those weaknesses. But the sport as a whole, you have to break. If you're just in the gym training for strongman, your ceiling's very low because you have to do the implements.
For sure.
And if you're a bodybuilder and you're too concerned with my 1RM squat or this or that, you're not training muscles properly. And if you're a power lifter and you're too concerned with looking good and I have a back day or I have an arm day or whatever, you're not training for your sport. You have to look at what makes you better at your sport, or you're just kind of a casual lifter,
which is whatever.
Which is okay.
And then also but that's not the kind of person who needs to be concerned with this kind of shit either.
No,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
The biggest takeaway I say is weigh the pros and cons. If you're gonna do it, be smart. Hire a coach if you can, if you can afford to, and just make sure everything else is dialed in first. That is literally the last thing you should look at when you're doing these sports.
Absolutely.
In any training. That's the last cherry on the top of, hey, if you're on the edge of I'm gonna make it pro and this is what I have to do, then you make that decision for yourself.
Yeah.
But discuss it with your damn spouse, whatever your partner, and just don't be a pussy about that.
Yeah. I was in the gym and I was getting the messages from you guys that these were the questions that we were getting, and I was kind of thinking to myself like,
this one came up numerous
Is this something
times.
that we want to talk about on the whatever, right? And it's like I asked a buddy of mine in the gym, and he was like, well, like it's not a good idea to pretend these things aren't happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like whether or not you like I'm going to stay completely neutral on it, so I'm not pro or against or whatever. So, but I'm not going to pretend like it's not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just
and take your sport.
Right.
Yes.
So some like the Olympics. There's people who test positive.
Yeah.
Cycling.
Right.
Tour de France.
Yeah.
Busted.
Baseball.
NFL. Busted.
Yeah.
Baseball.
MLB,
busted.
yeah.
It's everywhere. So don't be surprised if you're in a sport and you're competing against someone who's on it.
Right.
And they're lying about it. You don't know.
Yeah.
It's in even the federation in here, the local pilot federations that are all tested.
Clean.
Yeah.
Well, the way that Thrones puts it is that he specifically uses the word tested, not clean.
Not drug
They
free.
are
Exactly.
or drug free. They're not a drug free fed. It's a tested fed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way
So
different.
that's an important distinction is that you can never have something be drug free.
Yeah.
You can have it be tested for drugs, but it's to call it drug free is sort of a misnomer. It's not really fair to
And
say
the
that.
test are always one step behind the drug. The drug has to be made and used before
Yeah.
they can make a test for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, and you look probably 15 years ago, Minnesota Vikings players were busted for having fake penises. With clean urine in
Right.
it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's always going to be ways to beat the test, and you just have to accept.
I have an honest question for you here.
Yeah.
If you were doing that, if you were
I
one
would
of
have the biggest fake penis.
is that what you would do? Really?
Huge?
Would you try to draw attention to it like that? Would
Oh,
you? Like,
yeah.
Oh,
Down to
mine would
'cause
be
I was trying to think-
at least 5 inches.
Yeah.
Would you go? Would you?
twice your
It'd be
size.
massive.
Yeah.
If you were doing it, this would be a cool opportunity to be like, I got the biggest dick in the room, but you will draw attention to yourself. Is it worth the risk to have the biggest dick in the room?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Okay.
Yeah. I might even change the
For
color.
I think so too. For
I
the
might even
record.
I might change the color of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been tested a number of times with football, and they literally sit in a chair beside you
Really?
at the urinal and just they stare at your hammer while you piss.
Wow.
I wouldn't be able to
They're,
piss.
they're, they're,
I would stage
I
fright.
would be
They're like right
yeah.
there.
I don't know that I could do that. Honestly.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
And it's been so long for me. You have like
There's no way you don't develop some sort of fetish from that either. Like, there's
Totally,
no way you'd be
right.
like, I have to have someone sit and watch me pee
Yeah.
now.
I think you have like 3 hours or something.
I'm
And
just
they
I'm just
offer
entering
you-
events that are only drug tested just so I can get someone staring at it. Yeah.
They offer you juice and water and whatnot.
Every weekend I'm just competing in a tested event to get looked at.
Yeah. You can't leave the venue. There's all these rules, but someone will sit in a chair and just stare at you
Wow.
inches away from your penis while you stand at a urinal.
That seems like a high risk job to hire somebody for.
Right.
Like, you'd have to really vet the people who are doing that job, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who applies for that?
You know who. You know exactly who. You know who the fuck applies for that job.
Yeah. If
They're
you're
on-
listening, you
they're
know who you
that,
are.
That
They
coach
probably
we were talking
they
about.
probably have podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually interesting to me though, because I've never taken part in a sport where there was testing. Like, I've never, like, I played like minor league hockey, but that was never. I was
Yeah.
really
I've never
bad.
done
So
well
I-
enough that someone would drug test me.
Well, that's the thing. I
I'd be like,
played-
oh wait, he did good enough. He's on drugs. I would actually like to get to that level.
Yeah.
Where I'd be like, oh, he did something phenomenal. We should drug test him. I'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool.
You're like me?
yeah,
Thank you.
I would gladly fail just to be like, hell yeah.
I played very low level hockey, which that was. I mean, I should have probably taken drugs. I was
Like
so bad. I was so
squirts?
bad at it. Like just like A2, whatever. Like
Yeah.
the one below the very lowest. That was the one
Yeah.
that I played in, and that was only because they. It was,
ODR.
It was just where I lived.
It was,
Yeah,
a
like,
it was a participation trophy.
I
of
was
hockey
definitely an
leagues.
A3 player. There's no question about that. But
Yeah.
they snuck me up to A2 because of where I lived. But I've never been tested before. I've never really like.
Well, there is no.
So for high school football, they would test you.
No, this was a university.
University ball.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, they
okay,
don't test
okay.
in Strongman.
There's no testing in Strongman unless you do. There's like specifically a tested fed now or something.
Yeah, and
in
half,
Canada.
and half those guys are
Which is silly.
yeah. It's a tested fed.
Yeah, tested.
It's a tested fed.
I don't know if you'll know Marshall. Do you know Marshall Johnson?
I know of him.
Okay.
He followed our page. Shout out
Yeah,
to
so Marshall and I were talking last week, and he
Yeah.
sent me. He's a Canadian guy. He's so fat, but he's like a world overhead press champion.
Oh, and he's like, this is the strongest clean overhead press or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Okay.
And
Like that video that we've seen this week? Where you're saying Marshall's the guy.
Marshall sent me this guy's page.
I've
and
seen
he's
that.
Like,
Yeah.
you guys should have him on your show just for like the hilarity of him preaching about being clean.
Yeah.
I like the idea that it's like he's somewhere in Canada, so he'll be.
I don't know where he is
I have
actually.
no idea
I
where he
didn't
is
even
either,
look into
yeah.
it.
Dude is big.
My guess is Quebec.
Dude is big.
Yeah, it could be.
He's massive.
a
Yeah,
big
he's
guy.
you can tell you're
I don't know if we would have a chair for him.
No.
There's no way.
No, he's massive.
He's a big dude. I mean, props for him hitting the numbers it is. But
And like a
shit.
strict press for something like 460 overhead
Yeah.
is amazing.
Insane.
Yeah. It's just a modified incline bench, the way how far back that guy can get.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But for 3-4 years, the Liver King was also clean. And
Right.
He's
yeah,
59 days
yeah.
clean, guys. Now, I
Yeah,
mean, look
yeah.
and these idiots are still following him.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man, everyone asks, "Is he natural?" Like, that's not naturally idiots. You can tell. Like when his veins are the size of my thumb on his
but
arms.
honestly, like, people just really want to believe in something. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's
And, like,
what it is.
it's it's easy, and like, and I'm not saying you, but it's easy for someone to be like, oh, like, it's like, I can't believe that you would fucking fall for that. But it's like, people just really want someone to look up to and be like, I could do that if I
I'm guilty
if I
of that.
sun my fucking asshole or
I'm guilty of thinking people are honest.
yeah.
There's no way he'd lie. I know people can do that naturally.
Well, you just want to believe that it's like, well, I've only seen one guy like this in my life, so maybe this is that once in a lifetime guy who can do this. And it's like and I said this before too with like Liver King. I know this is sort of like a dated conversation topic now, but he's at least somebody where it's like he's telling you like if like kids are looking up to him or whatever, it's like he's telling you like go outside, lift weights, eat properly, not eat properly, but like
eat bull's balls.
yeah, maybe leave that part out, but like go outside and like fucking touch grass and like meet a partner, start a family, have a
Touch
fucking
grass.
have a life.
There
you
is
know what I
actually
mean?
studies behind that. Touch grass,
Yeah.
barefoot, like be on like connecting with the ground.
And I compare him to somebody like fucking like that goof Andrew Tate or whatever, where it's like, what is this guy offering you? And I see enough people now that I'm a little more in tune with like the local strongman scene. I see a lot of guys sharing this dummy stuff for some reason. Grown men sharing this guy's stuff, but it's all just based on like, get money, get bitches, blah 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 blah.
Get up at 4:30, read 3 books.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Yeah.
Cold tub, hot tub.
that's
Shut
why
up.
that's why I think that Liver King appeals to people in a different way, is because at least he was like he was cool, like he was jacked, and he was like, I'm telling you to be jacked too.
But
I'm not telling you to fucking go buy a Bugatti or what. Although I think he was.
But most of
materialistic
what
too.
Liver King did was legit. The weightlifting, like what was good advice. The weightlifting, the eating clean, the dieting, but. Yeah, the drug thing you didn't.
The thing was just
so it discredits everything he was saying.
For sure.
Like I don't believe just eating liver
But also,
and balls is
he's
going to get you
pretending
jacked.
that these tenets are what's.
Yes.
You didn't get
Yes.
strong from sunning your balls.
There were still
You know what
positive
I mean?
takeaways, but it was yeah.
it's such
might
a
have been
shame because if he was just honest,
Yeah, sure.
Like, did he need 10 grand of gross hormone a month? I don't know. Do you really need that?
yeah, that's a lot of GH.
I just wish I had that kind of money.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, ultimately, all these good messages are down the drain
Right.
because you told one lie.
Right.
And you could have skirted the question, or you could have just been honest
yeah.
Well,
and be like, I'm an older guy.
yeah, yeah,
It's TRT.
yeah.
Yeah. Test levels diminish. My wife's going to leave me if I don't get it up.
Yeah.
We're talking about him now, right?
Okay.
okay.
The thing to consider is like how many times have you seen The Rock in an interview where they've asked him about steroids?
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah.
0 times, because if somebody dared to do that, their career would be fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
So what Liver King really should have done would have been like, here's my no talking points. If he doesn't want to talk about it,
You have a publicist.
just
that
be
you're
like, these are the things that I will not discuss, and if you ask the question, the interview's terminated and whatever.
Yeah.
If you want to go that route, I'm saying, but there's why does nobody ask Liam Hemsworth if he's on steroids? If you watch Liver King, every fucking interview he was on, they'd be like, "So are you on steroids?" And he's like, "No." And like, so now he's dug a hole and he has to keep going.
Yeah.
But why when
You have to
when
live that lie.
Right. When the Rock sits down, or when like that Kumail guy sits down in an interview,
Yeah.
why is no one like, "Hey, you're on steroids?" Like because you're not, you'll get your career destroyed if you ask those
You're
guys.
saying the Rock's not natural?
I don't know. I don't know The Rock. Maybe he is. He's
So
great
you have
genetics.
a very same stance to me.
not
Is
genetics?
Could be.
I would rather give someone credit for hard work
Yes.
than taking the lazy man's opinion of like, well, he must be on steroids.
Right.
That's your way of saying I couldn't work hard enough to look like
Right.
that. So he must be doing something illegal that I'm not willing.
That you're
to
not
do.
willing.
I've been
to do.
told
that
that
makes you feel better about
I've been
yourself.
told that so many times. So if I took steroids, I'd be as big as you. Well,
No,
I'm
you
not
wouldn't.
that big. No, because you're not in the gym to begin with. You're not
Yeah.
putting in the 7 days a week I was training and eating to even be as shitty as I was.
Yeah.
Like you weren't even willing to do the work to be as shitty as me. Never mind adding the drugs in. Like
Yeah.
it's simple as everyone always says that. Well, I could have the stuff you have you could if you worked 16 hours a day and had a bunch of different companies. You could do that.
Yeah.
But you actually don't do that. You work your 8 hours and 2 of them you spend on the shit or staring at your phone because you're useless.
Yeah.
Yeah, big difference.
And that's I would not to beat the dead horse, but that's exactly what it is. Is that it's a case of
I would
I
love
can't
to
do
beat
it, so
the dead
nobody
horse.
can.
It's the only way I could beat one, but I would just love to show up and just fucking
Beat
give
it.
to the ribs.
Beat a dead. We do have dead horses around.
Let's do it.
I'm butchering it.
I would imagine that Devin kills a horse almost every single day.
No. But next time we butcher an animal,
He gets up at 4:30.
yeah.
He has a salt bath.
Butchers a horse.
next time we butcher an animal, I'll get you there. Last time we butchered our animal, but we shot it with a 50 cal.
Did you just blow it up?
It was significant.
What was it? Wait, why are you being? You're being very vague about. You said the animal.
It was a cow. We shot it with a 50
Okay, like
cal.
last time we shot the
And
animal.
I'm currently eating that cow. I mean, I love
Are you?
beef, right? I eat red meat a couple times a day.
Have you ever been hunting beaks?
No, I haven't been hunting.
Could you shoot a cow point blank like that?
I don't think I have it in me.
I don't know if I could either.
Could you shoot an animal? So I can't shoot just like an animal I'm not gonna eat. I can shoot an animal if I'm using
What if you?
it
But
to
if I'm
provide
talking
for my
like if you
family.
just like walked up and just like fuck you, bam, right there.
Yeah.
I'm not. I know you could. I'm talking about beaks.
A healthy, just
Probably do that to
chilling
half-
there,
half-
chewing its cuds cow.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
You could walk up and just blah blah.
All I see is T-bones and ribeyes, and I don't see a human or an animal.
Well, you wouldn't see. You
I-
might see a human.
I,
We wouldn't.
I hope that you don't see a human when you.
Maybe. There's some anger. Yeah. I mean, I butcher my own chickens, right? It's
I
the
think
same
that
thing.
honestly, I think that I should be able to, but I don't. If I'm being honest with myself, I don't know that I could.
Yeah.
I think that if I was in like a hunting situation,
Like, could you shoot one at a couple hundred yards? Were deer hunting?
I mean, that would be easier if I couldn't like look in its beautiful eyes. Like, I don't want to do that.
it is tougher
Yeah.
when you're like.
But if I was like aiming at if I was aiming at a deer, and you like suddenly named that deer, and you told me its name, I'd be like, oh, fuck. like I don't know if I can do it now. Like I'm not.
Don't kill Denise.
Yeah, I'd be like, you'd be like, oh, I like, or if you were like, oh, I remember that deer from last year, I'd be like, fuck, there's no way that I could do that.
I know
now.
some people don't like the shooting animals and the meat thing, but I mean, it's just I'm very.
I don't have a
grew up
problem
that
with
way
it. I'm just saying that
butchering.
I'm a pussy, and I
We
don't think that
butcher
I
our
can
own
do
animals.
it.
I will continue butchering. But
Yeah.
when I build my new house here, I want to put in my own butcher shop.
I think that there's nothing more impressive than somebody who
Yeah.
can take care of their own food like that.
But I also don't have the
I
hormones.
wish that I had that in me.
I don't have the hormones in the food because I'm raising it myself.
Yeah.
We're doing our own, like doing a greenhouse, our own vegetables. Like I'm getting it. The meat I get is a lot cleaner
Yeah.
than what you're getting from the store.
The only thing that I really want,
Because I'm very anti-drug.
right? Yeah, as we've discussed.
Yeah.
What I would really like is just a picture of me holding like a big dead animal to bother women mostly.
I can.
Yeah, like just to piss off the women that
you
I
can
know
come to
on
my
social
cabin and hold
media.
some of my antlers and stuff.
Yeah, just like
You can hold a bunch of things there.
bloody shirt and just like holding the thing and just be like new Tinder profile pic.
That's me taking a bull by the horn.
Yeah.
Next time we
didn't
butcher,
happen,
next
but
time
it
we
really
butcher, I'll have both of you out. Could you skin an animal?
I could skin it. I don't
do?
know how. But if I'm there with you and you're telling me how to do it, if it's already dead, I could do it.
See, I had a buddy who was going to teach me how to do that, like to butcher a cow afterwards.
Skinning a bear, what to skin looks like a human. That's why a lot of people are scared to skin bears.
It looks like a human.
Yeah. When it's skinned, the way the muscles are, it looks like.
Have you seen a bear without fur? A live bear without fur?
No,
Yeah,
well,
I
it's
think
called mange. Yeah, they have mange.
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
Sorry, mister. Look at the big
I
brains
got-
on
I
Penner.
I kill bears all the time.
I got
Yeah.
a funny story about butchering with the 50 cal because this will relate to how you guys I think would be. So my nephew's going to hate this, but he listens to the podcast. But he wanted this a couple months. He wanted to learn how to butcher animals, and he wanted to get into hunting. And I'm like, well, you're a man, in my opinion. You're a man. You need to be able to butcher an animal or shoot an animal because if society collapses, you need to be able to fend for your family. You're going to learn how to hunt and kill animals and feed your family. He's like, yeah, I want to come there. I want to come. He's 16 years old now. He's 17, and so he comes down and we have a couple cows we're butchering. So we shoot it in the head, and it just. And he's an animal lover. He's got his cat that he just spends all his money on, and he's an animal lover. He's like, no, I can hunt. And we shot this cow, and and this thing dropped.
This'll toughen him up.
Yeah, and
So I made him kill his cat that he loved so much.
No, he shot his cow, and his face went white, and I looked at him like, "You be okay?" So, anyways,
That's exactly what would happen.
yeah. So when you shoot an animal, not a deer, when you shoot a cow, so you got to run up, and you got to slit its throat open. Right away. Boom! You slit it open, let the blood out because it helps the meat better.
Shooting it wasn't enough.
Nope, you got to slit it right open. You got to cut.
So it's a whole torture ritual you have to do.
Yeah, it's deader. You shot it in the head.
Then you drink
Anyways,
the blood.
yeah. So you have to run up, slit its
get
throat,
inside
and then
the
it
cow
just
afterwards.
starts. So
You
it's
have to run?
Oh, you have to get there quick. Yeah, you don't want to wait. The longer you wait, the worse your meat is.
I'm a
Anyways,
saunterer.
so we ran up, we cut the throat, and it makes noises like whatever. And he literally
Call
just
it a death rattle.
yeah,
I
he
think, is the
just
noise.
literally started crying, and I had to call his dad. My brother, like, Matt, you gotta come pick him up, but he's not
Is
doing
it
well.
like the air escape? It's like
Yeah, it's the air coming out,
Yeah.
and the heart, the brain is dead, the animal's dead, but the heart keeps pumping. Yeah.
No likey.
You sure? All right.
Okay,
just
so
checking.
I have a question for you, then, Devin. This,
Hope we don't get canceled over this shit, but yeah,
this question doesn't apply to me or
Can't
Beach
cancel private.
yeah.
yeah, we've already like your
Oh,
life.
we lost our vegan listener.
Your life is extremely concerning to most.
Sorry
of
to
these
all
people.
the vegan strongmen out there.
This is not going to apply to me and Beast because if we can't kill a cow, this is not going to be. You said this like post-apocalyptic society where you have to be able to kill your own food. What if we're in this position where you have to kill the deadliest game of all, a person, and eat them? And I don't want you to try to be funny. I want you to answer this question 100% honestly. Could you kill and eat a person?
I could kill a person. Wouldn't fit me. Eating it. You know, I don't know why I said it, but I have thought about that. I'm like, what if I had to eat a person? Because you got those cycles who like kill people and feed it to their families.
Yes.
And I'm like, I mean, steak's a steak.
I'm talking survival. You're
I
hungry, man. You're hungry.
I would probably pull it off.
You would do it?
Yeah. I'm not gonna die.
I know.
And out of this group of people, it's one of you two because you're big.
No,
I can feed my family for a long time
I'll
off
be
you.
fucking way dead before this. Don't worry about
Way
this.
dead.
If we're there's okay. If we are in like a post-apocalyptic society like The Matrix, I don't know anything about computers. And if we're in a post-apocalyptic society like say like Walking Dead, I'm fucking dead immediately. I don't know how to shoot a gun. I'll
If
be.
it's my family dying or you dying, you're dying.
Yeah. Well, no, I know. I know that.
And we're eating.
I know you're gonna. Yeah, you'll kill me. I know. But
And
like,
I'm probably going to sharpen one of your bones as like a wiener stick.
He knows what a bear without fur is called, but he calls your bone a wiener stick.
I'm gonna sharpen like one.
Like a rib?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. A wiener
Roasting
stick.
marshmallows with your wiener stick.
Okay, so that's
Okay.
That's the question that I had.
So, for you, Tyler, because I already know Devin's answer. Say you go to a restaurant and they have their meal of the night, whatever, but they don't tell you what it is, and you eat it. It's delicious. It's a steak, and afterwards they're like, "That was human meat." How do you feel about it?
I would be psyched, honestly.
You'd be what?
Psyched.
Psyched?
I think so.
That you did it. And
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Like if it was happening, I'd be like, oh, I don't know about this. First of all, I don't think it would be very good. But if
What if it's like a Costco sample? Like, just try this
Man, I've
little.
seen a lot of fat dudes.
and I know
But
what
you
it
know
is.
it's human. Would you try it?
To be honest with you, I think that I would.
I'm a curious little critter. I think I would. I think I would.
I think that I would. I feel like I would.
Out of the three of us,
I don't know. I think I would. Honestly, I think that I would.
How cooked though? Like I'm a blue rare guy, and I feel if
Yeah,
it was
I'm medium
human, I
rare.
might want. Like I'd go medium rare if
Would
it
you
was
go
human meat,
I'm a medium
and I'd
rare
want
guy.
it to be the butt.
I'd be medium rare.
Out of us three, which would be the Wagyu steak? Who has the most fat in the meat?
Me.
You think so?
Yeah.
Like,
I
yours
think
is
of all of
quite-
us, Tyler would be the most delicious.
Yeah.
Well, you want a proper diet to get to Wagyu. They have to be fed, and they got to be coddled a certain way. You haven't been. Are you coddled?
I don't know.
Have you ever seen the Wagyu beef? Like they
He's
coddle
so
those
bitter,
cows,
you know
man,
he's
yeah.
never been coddled.
I've got a wife that coddles me. I think I'd be more Wagyu.
Maybe. I don't know. Are you fatter than me?
I don't know body fat percentage-wise. Maybe I got probably bigger tits.
You do have bigger tits than me.
Yeah.
I would eat your tits.
Kevin's
Yeah.
nipples point south-southwest and south-southeast.
They match my eyes. Oh shit! I don't know what eating. How the fuck do we get into eating humans? But
We started talking about steroids. And
you think the female meat would be better than the male meat
Yeah.
in terms of muscle?
Yeah,
mass?
they'd be
Well,
fattier.
would females not like the veal, like the baby calf?
They'd be
gentler?
It'd be more delicious.
They'd be
Yeah, I know.
fattier for sure too.
Not if it's Allison, but
Yeah, she'd be fucking pretty yacked.
that'd be a tough chew.
You don't want to bleed her out quick to soften the meat.
Yeah, no, I think I would do it. Bottom line on that one, I think I would do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched you.
but
I
I
watched you
don't-
shoot a gun.
but I-
Like you
but I
could
don't think
easily
you'd be
hit someone
good.
at 5 yards.
For sure. Oh yeah.
Anything past that, you're
For
screwed.
For sure, I could do that.
I could probably do like up to 20 yards.
Yeah. I'm just amazed I can see straight enough to shoot that thing.
Did we? What a fucking weird thing.
He can aim at you. Devin can aim at you and your family at the same time.
Yeah, so we're talking.
You're next.
We've already talked about steroids now. Devin's complete willingness to kill me over his family, and whether we would eat each other.
We have to eventually touch on mentors.
I knew that was coming
There's
up.
no way.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Devin.
No,
we
we're
can't-
not going
we
to.
can't,
We're
no.
gonna keep.
I
We're
can't-
gonna,
Episode 100.
I can't tarnish.
not
I can't
fucking-
tarnish their name with this episode.
we're not discussing. I'm gonna make it my fucking mission on this podcast to make sure that we never discuss that topic. Now.
Okay, so what's the weirdest meat you've ever eaten?
There's a specialty meat store on Sargent that sells like import stuff. It's like
So what have you had?
it's like I had kangaroo from there. I've had alligator.
Alligator's good.
I've had
Alligator's
alligator.
pretty
That was really
good.
Alligator's really
I can't
good.
say I've had anything that's like
How was
that'll.
kangaroo?
It's like kangaroo mixed with pork because kangaroo is like the leanest meat that there is.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like when you look at it, it's like it looks like the shittiest steak you've ever had.
It's like flank
Was
steak.
it good?
Yeah, it tastes good. I had it mixed, like I said, with sausages. That was really good. I had like ostrich steaks. Those were pretty good. They're much
So
more like
when I was in Nairobi, I had ostrich.
Yeah.
Surprisingly good.
they're much more like red meat than poultry.
Yeah, that's
Like-
what
and you-
surprised
and you
me.
can even cook it like rare.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever eaten like rabbit?
Rabbit,
I've had
yeah,
rabbit.
I have.
I've
yeah.
eaten pigeons.
Moose.
I've eaten pigeons. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, all the
Moose
all the
steak.
I shot
all
a
the
moose a
game
couple years ago. I
animals.
have that hanging at my cabin. We got
I love
moose.
game meat. Some people like when they say it tastes too gamey. I'm kind
Yeah.
of like that's what meat's
Elk.
supposed to
It's
taste.
literally
Elk,
in the
elk was
fucking name.
phenomenal.
Elk's great.
But I wanted to try caribou. I had elk and we shot a moose a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Have you ever had snake?
I have not had snake.
Me either.
They
But-
say it's hard to cook because there's so many bones.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
it's 127, something like that.
I watched
in
a
a
video of
snake?
some
In
guy
a
doing
snake?
it.
In a snake, yeah.
Some fucking Oklahoma guy that I watch on YouTube. He just caught one and cooked it and chopped it up right there.
Yeah.
And he didn't like it, and he's an old Oklahoma cowboy, so I can't imagine that I would like it very
It's
much.
tough too. Like they're
Don't you have a snake?
yeah. Well,
Just asking.
That's the plan. Is when he dies, I can just eat him.
him.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just
So
make sure
hungry, I'm
they're
just
quick
waiting for
enough.
that.
Just make sure you're there when he dies so you can slit him.
25 years. I'm like, come on, man, just
how
die
long you've had
already.
it?
Throw him. No. But like when he dies, what if I had him 12 years?
My kid just had a
How long does this snake live?
Like 20 to 30.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ!
shit, that's worse than the damn cat.
Yeah, he might outlive me.
Nothing's worse than getting a
I
cat.
mean,
and the
yeah,
damn thing
probably,
outlives-
right? Like that's fucking crazy.
If I'm at home and I know I'm dying, I'll just take the lid off his terrarium
Just
and
let him go.
How big is he?
Yeah.
he can have the house. And he's just over 7 feet.
Holy hell.
Yeah,
See, I don't like snakes. They scare me.
He's that big, really?
yeah.
Holy shit!
We used to have him at the gym.
Yeah, he wasn't that big.
And he was probably like 4 feet then.
Yeah.
What kind of
Yeah.
snake?
Diamond python. It's an Australian breed.
He's actually right here.
No, yeah. I don't like snakes.
He recently shed. I'll bring.
Cut that out of the video.
He recently shed. I'll bring the skin. And you see, like it's
Not
it's pretty
venomous?
impressive. What? No, he's a constrictor.
Oh,
Great hugs.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
sounds like half the women these days.
I find women more venomous.
Constrictors, yeah. Great hugs they give you on your
Yeah.
bank accounts.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
you know what?
That's about an hour on this one. Should we?
Yeah.
This one actually flew by.
Flew by.
So we got Dave Beakley at Beakley Mobile at Deadlift for Dreams, right?
Deadlifts for Dreams. Yeah.
Deadlift for Dreams coming up soon. Make sure you register for that.
Yeah.
Don't wait to register for these things, guys. Get your
And don't
money.
be shy. It's we had a lot. Devin's nephew, cousin.
My nephew, yep.
Yeah, nephew last year,
Cousin,
13 years old. He competed last year. It's about the fundraising. It's about the kids. It's not about what you lift, but
And we'll teach you how to deadlift.
yeah, we teach how to deadlift on the spot. If you want to train leading up to it, these two
Yeah.
will take you with open arms. And
These are a great way to if you are like entertaining the idea of competing. These single lift, especially charity shows,
Yeah.
are really the way to do it. You lift in front of a crowd. Everybody like there's no competition to it.
Nothing.
dip your toe in the water.
Just
Yeah.
get a feel for what it's like and see. Maybe you love it. Maybe you hate it. Whatever. But at least the worst thing you did was raise a bunch of money for charity.
Exactly, yep.
Yeah.
Devin Penner, Training Grounds Gym.
Yep.
That's
Manitoba Strongman.
Manitoba Strongman too. He runs that page. He also runs he does it all. He runs the Strong and Petty page too. So make sure you follow all of
I
those.
got 5. I got Red River Siding because I run that for my
Follow Red
company. I
River
got a
Siding
lot
too.
of-
What the
a lot of
fuck?
Instagram pages.
And I'm Tyler with at Iron Age Strength.
And Chud Life.
Chad Life for my personal page if you want to.
Tyler Colton.
I'm not so active on the wrestling one anymore, but we'll leave it at that. And
Yep. Give us a follow. Give us a share. Thanks
Be a
again
friend.
for tuning
Tell a
in.
friend.
Yeah,
Shoot us in some questions for next time.
Yeah.
yeah, go fuck yourself.
And yeah,
Politely. Go fuck yourself.
and gently.